The Jormungandr, the second biggest serpent in mythology. The biggest, of course, being in my pants.
This is the comedy police! The joke's too funny!
I'm not going back to jail!
Jormungandr was a great snake in Norse mythology. His name literally means huge monster, and much like his brother Fenrir, he is a being that is perceived to be evil. But I have my disagreements, though not so much as I did with the mighty wolf. He is the son of Loki and the giantess Angraboa. Along with his brother Fenrir and his sister Hel, he was imprisoned by Odin. While Fenrir was chained when he became too big and Hel was sent to Helheim, Jormungandr was instead, when he grew too large, cast into the sea of Midgard. In the sea he grew, and grew, and grew, until eventually he could bite down on his own tail, becoming an Ouroboros encircling the world. When he finally releases his tail, Ragnarok will begin, and he will meet his end, as will all the gods. Mainly featured in the Eddas, these are the best sources to find out more about the Midgard Serpent, and these are where my stories are from, mainly the prose Edda. I have the poetic Edda sitting there, staring at me, watching, but man, I don't want to read it. I've got so much to read. Maybe at one point it'll tempt me. Anyway, some stories about the Midgard Serpent. Utgard Loki, not to be confused with, the regular Loki, is a giant and a king who sets 3 challenges for Thor and his posse. Why this happens doesn't really matter, but we move. The task set for the Thunder God was this. Lift up a cat. Not too hard, right? No, this is no ordinary cat. This is Jormungandr in disguise. As Thor lifts the cat, its belly does that weird thing cats do. Where they just move up, but their feet stay on the ground until you finally get them up. So Thor keeps lifting and lifting until he stops because he cannot move anymore. But he has not lifted the cat completely. The cat still has one paw on the floor. After this, Utgard Loki explains his deception and how it brought him great fear. If he had succeeded in lifting the cat, he would have moved the serpent out of the sea, through the sky, and finally to the bounds of the universe, altering its very boundaries. Utgard Loki made it pretty clear that he never wanted to see Thor or any of them again after that. Thor tried to chase him, but, couldn't find him. The next encounter between Thor and Jormungandr was during a fishing trip with Hymir. After Thor is an arsehole for a while, they go out, further than Hymir has ever gone before. Casting his line with an ox head on the end, the serpent bites down upon it. Don't ask me how he did it without opening his mouth. I don't know, but it's mythology, so it doesn't always make sense. As Thor yanks the beast out, they stare down each other. Thor reaches for his hammer ready to kill the serpent, and the beast's mouth drips poison and blood. As Thor goes to kill Jormungandr, or at least fight him, Hymir cuts the line and the serpent sinks beneath the waves. Thor, enraged, then kills Hymir. Why are the Norse gods like this, man? Why are they such arseholes? Now, when I was doing extra research, I found out that in earlier versions of the myth, like pre-Edda ones, Thor actually kills the sea serpent here. Personally, I prefer the later versions, not just because I read them first, but what this story does is it continues to show the rivalry between these two beasts of mythology, really. And they hadn't met face to face before, so it would be fairly unjustified if Thor didn't have this kind of tension building. If he killed the beast here, it would be very anticlimactic in my opinion. And there would also be no one to fight for Thor in the apocalypse. So, yeah, good job, Snorri. The final encounter is the one at Ragnarok. A sign of the end, Ragnarok, is when the serpent is woken, opens its jaws, and releases its tail. Here he spits poison onto one half of the world, and after having brought ruin, he will meet his fellow warriors and head to battle. Here in this battle, Thor finally kills Jormungandr, but the world serpent had poisoned the thunder god. Now, depending on which translation you read, it changes here very slightly, but it's very insignificant. Essentially, Thor then takes 9 steps, paces, or he moves 9 feet before succumbing to his wounds. Jormungandr has had a myriad of appearances in modern pop culture, and most recently appearing in the God of War games. As an ally to Kratos, as they share animosity and anger against the gods. But he does respect Tyr, and honestly, I can't fault them for that. Tyr, you know Tyr's my boy. If you've seen the Fenrir video, I fucking love Tyr. But he does look a bit small. He doesn't look vicious enough to be like what most people, and I imagine the poets and the actual Norsemen, thought he would look like. But, you know, it's a design. And who am I to criticise? It's a good characterisation, though, of Jormungandr. He also appears in Marvel comics, but as with all mythology in Marvel, they kind of butcher him. Also, he appears in Final Fantasy 15, and he can also be found in a Danish cartoon called Valhalla by Peter Madsen. He even has his own manga and anime, showing how far spread his influence has been. I promise you I'm not a weeb, it's just it seems there always seems to be some kind of anime adaptation, especially with Fate. I don't watch Fate, but my mate's obsessed with it. Also, he's mentioned in the Sabaton song Swedish Pagans, though only briefly, and I love this band, so I thought I would put it in. So before we end today, I just wanted to show you guys some fan art that got submitted by u/Baiju Horses on my Reddit. The name will be on screen. So, I hope I pronounced that right, by the way. So I decided to make a feature of it. So send me some fan art and I'll stick it on the end page. So enjoy this one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this week. I worked hard on it and have had a busy week, but you guys come first, so... Anyway, remember to like, comment and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. If you want to see my stupid tweets, then join my Twitter or follow my Insta for something a bit less hectic. Better yet, both. Also, go join the subreddit, and if you're watching this on YouTube, check out my TAL, and if you're on TIL, go check out my YouTube. Links are in the description. And as always, I'll see you next week for a Theogony video. And the week after that will be another Theogony video. My babies!